So today on Project Shop, we're going to be on the hunt for copper. I got a pile over there that we started stripping, never finished. I got this bin that's got a lot of spaghetti wire, a couple little nuggets in there. Then I have another bin out there that actually has some decent sized wire in it, nice chunk of 500. Well, not a nice chunk, just a nice roll. Matter of fact, that roll was bought brand new in the morning, wasn't used on the job, and sold to me in the afternoon. And somewhere around here, I got some, I'm gonna get this up on the table. Somewhere around here, I got some transformers. I thought they were in this bin, but after we're done stripping wire, I got a couple light fixtures to take apart, and we got a little pile of transformers over here, and I have some 1500 watt transformers around here somewhere. I got to locate them, but we want to pull as much copper as we can today. So let's get this set up. These lights are a nightmare. You want to sit on top of a pole, and it's always awkward. But I think there's actually a transformer still in this one. It feels heavy enough. I think what I'm going to do is just pick this up, drive it as close to the wire stripper as possible, and I'm just going to strip right out of the bin. Now normally I wouldn't strip this stuff. This stuff is actually thicker than the normal BX. So I probably will throw that over there to the side, and we will unwind it and send it through the machine. Okay, I seem to have lost my DeWalt dikes that I like to have here at the stripper. It's really sad. Throw this stuff over there and deal with that a little later. Now I think Merchant Metals was stripping not sure what he was stripping in here last. I let him run the machine. I think he enjoyed it. At least I hope he did. Talked to him earlier today. He said he hasn't made it out of Florida yet, and he already had a blowout. Not good news, but hopefully he makes it home okay. Dial. Alright with that. It usually doesn't go far from this machine. The reason I like these is not only are they spring loaded, but they have like a multiplier, a force multiplier here. Now, the only downside to that force multiplier is it limits how far open the blades can go, but for the spaghetti wire, it's perfect. Oh yeah. Good job. Okay, machine's pretty much dialed in. Might be cutting a little hard for some of this stuff, but I'll put a pair of gloves on for that. I might back that off just a little bit, but she's stripping good, man. 100%. We're picking up clean copper. I did find my transformers. They're down there with a couple. They're hiding amongst the nuggets. Okay, so I'm gonna time lapse all this spaghetti so I can crank up some tunes and get in a good groove. We'll get this out. We'll get them transformers up on the table. I got some other good things in here too. Look at this. This is like brass. Or that might be copper. I think it's brass. There's a little copper on it though. I might keep that for a welding cable. I think I have a couple of these though. I gotta see. I don't know. But we're gonna blow through this. Then I'll come back and we'll open these up and strip that. And then I got another bin of copper out there. We got this copper here. There's just like piles of copper everywhere, man. That's a nice little pile there. We got all kinds of goodies. We got copper transformers, ballast, fan motors, big nuggets. Now, we have to sort through this and find something from a customer that they gave me. When I went there that day, they were doing a job, and that's where this came from. This piece of 500 MCM. They had a service blow up, like an 800 amp service blew up, and they brought back some pieces, a big piece of copper and the melted aluminum lug, which is in here somewhere. But then he called me up the next day and was like, hey, insurance wants to see the exploded pieces. You haven't processed it yet. You know, he'll buy it back. He wants to buy it back from me. So I got to recover that. I'm going to find some gloves real quick and we're going to look for that. And then we'll sort out some goodies. I think this was part of it. Oh, here it is right here. That's it. That, and look at that. Whatever happened, man, it cooked. It absolutely cooked this. However that, I don't know how it was, but you can see something arced right there and just melted down. That's a shame because that's a nice chunk of copper right there. So that's one of them. Oh, here's the lugs. That's everything I was looking for. Okay. Look at that. It just fried that aluminum. Wow. We'll give them back that. I think that was part of it too. We'll give them that. We'll just back charge them. Now I smell like burnt stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna mill through this real quick. Probably not gonna process the fan motors and whatnot. We'll just get them stacked up because I have a pile of motors that we're gonna be doing here. In a couple days, I gotta go pick up a big generator. And I got some other cool things coming up here. But I want to get this stuff, maybe, I hate piling stuff on the table. But I need to get to that copper. There's some nuggets in here, man. This is what we're after here. This is the good stuff, okay? And that right there, that's the real good stuff. That's a brand new, they actually bought that for that job. And they literally bought it that morning. Okay, once it's cut, you can't return it. And it was a certain length. He was like, it'll sit around here forever. Threw it on the scrap pile. So I bought it. I bought brand new 500 MCM. That was literally cut that morning. You know? And that's how I get that copper like that, man. Like, they'll get copper on a job and not use it, or you know, they might have a change or something. Who knows, man? But I get a lot of copper because they just didn't use it on the job for whatever reason. And it still has the tags on it. You've seen in many, many videos of mine of me stripping copper that still has the job tag and the company and whatnot. You know, a lot of people be like, oh, nobody would strip that like that, or it's got to be stolen. No, man, it's literally a daily occurrence with electricians. Which is why I love electricians, man. I go there and they're just like, this stuff has been sitting here too long. Do you want this? Do you want that? And I wind up getting all the goodies. That's a lot heavier than it looks. I've never taken one of them apart, actually. I'm gonna go find me a little bucket. I'm gonna clip all these ballasts and transformers and whatnot right now. I don't want to move them twice. I'm gonna clip them, put them right in a bin or something, and sort them, because like this is an old one. I actually got a whole pile of them over there. This is electronic. We'll sort out these electronic ones. They're not worth keeping. We just sell them straight off. So let me go get that. I'm gonna crank up some music. I'm gonna get this situated, and then we'll come back when we go to strip this wire. There's some good transformers down in here, man. Some big boys, 1,000 waters. We'll add to the table, fill out our, well, not fill it out, but we do have some 1,500 waters over there. Definitely gonna be worth cracking them. Hopefully we can get them tonight. I got that electric motor. I got a pile of electric motors out there from them fans Dusty from Merchant Metals helped me with. And I got a couple big generators, and I'm supposed to go pick up 3 other generators this week. So we might be on a huge generator score. And I might have picked up a, I'm working on another customer. So hopefully there'll be some crap in here in the future, and a variety of things, because we're gonna switching it up here and getting into some other scrap. All right, we got a little nugget in there. Now, it's a lot of spaghetti, so it's not a lot of weight. And I do have to mill through that pile a little bit. There's a couple more nuggets over there. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to some of this bigger stuff. I wanna empty this tote and get a little bit of weight in the bucket. And then we're gonna round up everything. I'm actually on the fence whether I'm gonna strip this stuff. That is pretty thick, but I do get a really good price for #1 insulated, so we might just send it as that. And we might just work on this big stuff, but we will strip everything, you know, down to about this size. This is where I usually like to cut it off. Anything smaller than that is just kind of tedious. All that stuff I've done so far was pretty much like this size. We'll strip this, that blue knot down there. There's a couple pieces over there we'll strip, but for now, we're gonna move on to this bigger stuff, get a little bit of weight in the bucket. not good for the blades. Gotta open it up for that 600. Yeah. That was a brand new piece of 500. That'll put some weight in the bucket. Okay, that stuff stripped real nice, real easy. That was probably more weight in 10 minutes than I did all of that in like an hour and a half or whatever it took me to do that. So the rest of this stuff, I'm gonna clean this up. I'll strip that green stuff there, and there's a couple chunks over here. I might strip some of this stuff. But the rest of it, we're gonna throw in the number 1 insulate and move on to something else. We got some transformers. I don't know if I'll get to them tonight, but we want to get them at least on the table and sorted. So I'm gonna get hydrated, get some music cranked up. We'll get this copper in the bin, strip what little bit we're gonna strip left. We'll get a weigh on that. Hopefully we got, I don't even know, $500, 600 bucks here. Definitely gonna have to get that granulator up and running, because I could have been chopping all of this while I was stripping this big stuff. All right, it's the next day. We're gonna load this stuff up, take it to Miami. Not as much copper as I was hoping, and a lot of it I decided to just sell it off. We do got a pile over here. I need to go through some BX, and I think most of that is like number 2. Thick enough to strip. I got some more back there. And then there's a couple stragglers up there. Unfortunately, I didn't get to the transformers last night. It was getting late. We'll save them for another day. I'm gonna go ahead and get this over to the truck. We're not taking a trailer down there, although I do have something to pick up, hopefully on the way back. We're just gonna ride the truck down there and hopefully pick up something cool on the way back. Oh, and I got my I gotta meet up with my customer and drop off a box of goodies, all the burnt up 800 amp service at Fried. Fortunately, I don't get to keep the nice copper bus bar. Go put that in the truck before I forget about it. That's heavier than it looks. Now, since the last time I was in Miami, copper's dropped. But it looks like it's starting to come back up. I've been watching the market, which is something I never really did. It really doesn't matter for me because most of the stuff I do, I process. So there's a little more meat on the bone than just buying bright and shiny. But if I buy bare bright, I gotta move that stuff quick. Because if the market drops 10 cents, 20 cents, I'm screwed. I'll just break even. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. For the most part, I'd say 99% of the time, 98% of the time, I'm making decent money. And then there is times where, if for whatever reason, I wind up sitting on copper too long. I'll break even, or very, very rarely will I ever lose money. So, anyone ever seen anything like this? It says Spark. It's got a button. I don't even know where it came from. Looks like there used to be some type of antenna on it. I don't know. Really weird. Anyway. Oh, I think it came with those magnetic vices. See if I can get one more row in here. Okay. I should have slid this thing back all the way on the pallet. Okay. I don't know if I can still do that, but yeah, probably squeeze some of these thin batteries up in here. Oh yeah. Okay, take out my monster hitch. Throw this bag back up in here. But I want to lift it again. These bags came from Merchant Metals. He left me a whole bunch of them. I appreciate that. Good dude. Enjoyed hanging with him for a couple days. Unfortunately, here comes the rain, and this camera's got the media mod on it, which is not waterproof. So we'll see you down in Miami. Okay, here's the ticket for that wire and then batteries. We had 986 pounds of battery, 23 cents a pound, $226.78. Then we had 68 pounds of old sheets, 63 cents a pound for $42.84. Now those came in with a bunch of fans I have back there. I'll show you in a second. And we had Bear Bright, 228 pounds, $3.75 a pound. It's actually gone down since then. $8.55 even. And then we had 260 pounds of #1 insulated. They forgot to put on the ticket and had to pay me cash after the fact for a total of like $1,384.62. Now, I went down there with pretty much just the truck because I had some things to do that I didn't need the trailer for. But I did wind up picking up some stuff while I was down there, and that stuff happens to be back there on the table. We got some monsters in the house, man. I've never even seen one that big. And I have a whole pile of these fans I have to go through. Most of it is actually aluminum, and I bought it for like a steel price because there is a little bit of steel involved in there. So if you come this far, thanks for watching. Stay tuned because we are gonna have a massive scrap out over here in the shop. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Dancing. You ever seen a copper dance before? I'm gonna bring this thing over and pull all the stuff off of it, like the tire weights and stuff, and I'm gonna give this a quick pressure clean, and then we're gonna evaluate the two. And I think this one is more complete, ready to go.